This is AR162 Building Technology 2. Our lecture for today is doors and windows. Lecture number 1 is doors. So, a door may be defined as an open-able barrier or a framework of wood, steel, aluminum, glass, and a combination of these materials secured in an opening a wall. So it is provided to give access to the inside of the room of a building. It serves as a connecting link between the various internal portions of the building. Lighting and ventilation of rooms, they admit ventilation and light. They control the physical atmosphere within a space by enclosing it, excluding air draft, so that interiors may be more effectively heated or cooled. They act as barrier to noise, used to screen areas of a building for aesthetic purposes, keeping formal and utility areas separate. The number, location of a door in a building, the number should be kept in minimum. So it, as much as possible, minimize the number of doors. It should meet the functional requirement. So the door width should be appropriate to the type of function of the room. It should preferably be located at the corner of a room, nearly 20 centimeters from the corner. So the door is usually positioned at corners of the room so that you can maximize the layout of the interior part of your room. So because if you swing the door, so the door swing will occupy space. So in order to maximize the swing of the door space that is occupied, so you need to position the room at the corner of the room. So in case that it's sliding, you can position the door opening at the middle. If in a room more than 2 doors are there, there shall be located facing each other. So timber is widely used for the construction of doors. Most of the people prefer timber because of its appearance. Doors can be constructed with solid planks or timber pieces. To increase the lifetime of doors, various preservatives are added and timber is seasoned. So the timber is a commonly used material because of why it's widely available, and it's lightweight. It has a good appearance in color. Sometimes the texture is very significant for the users, and the wood finish or the wood grain is very attractive for houses and commercial buildings. So another type of door that is being commonly used is what you call this plywood. No, plywood is very useful for flush doors. It's good it takes a good polish and provides smooth and plain appearance. So if the frame is either wood or steel, you can use plywood as the main panel for the door. Sometimes a glass piece or fixed in a door panel is to admit light inside the room. So if you want to admit light, you need to use a glass door. Large opening indoors fitted with thick glass panels impart a beautiful appearance. The glass may be various type. It can be frosted, beaded glass, or ribbed glass. Sometimes it's stained glass. Sometimes it has colored glass. But the main factor is the glass should be tempered so that if shattered, nobody get into an accident. So another type of door is metal. Steel and aluminum frame doors are widely used due to the pleasing appearance. If properly maintained, their life is very long. Hollow metal doors fabricated of a metal frame covered with metal sheets are selected for greater strength, life, and fire resistance. Another type of door is reinforced cement concrete frames are used in areas where doors are exposed to vermin, fungus, white ants, and etc. So seldom you can see a door that is made of concrete, but door frame that is made, the door jamb that is made of concrete, they use it because of the insects or the termites or the fungus or molds. No? So they use a different concrete concrete type of frame. So the door frame is as an assembly of horizontal and vertical members forming an enclosure to which the door shutters are fixed. The vertical members are known as the jamb or post, and the top horizontal member is known as the head. The horizontal projection of the head are known as horns. A rebate cut at about 12 millimeter is provided all around the frame to receive the door shutter. So as you can see in the drawing, no, this is a door frame. The uppermost part of the door jamb or the door frame is the head. So if you will see this vertical wood or steel, this is the jamb. This is the jamb or the post. Okay, they put a hold fast to hold it to the concrete or the cement or wood. There should be an anchoring. Okay, this is a typical dimension for a door frame. This is the head. This is the post. No, there is a groove or a shutter, on the door frame, so that the door will be will be fitted to the door frame, no? So that this shutter or groove, no, is the one that the door frame is being attached to. Okay, so this is the floor surface. So it is sometimes it is it is embedded, no, in the floor, no, about maybe about 2 inches or 3 inches embedded to the floor surface. So what are the different types of door frame? Okay, so door frames are made of timber, steel, aluminum, concrete, or stone. So material for shutter, we can use also timber, plywood, glass, or block. So these are the different materials you use for the door frame. So the top rail, no, as you can see in the door shutter. So this is the top rail. This is the frise or the rail. This is the intermediate rails. This is the panel. This is the bottom rail. This is the stile. So this is the component of a door shutter or the door panel. So this typical door detail, as you can see in the drawing. So this is the door jamb, with a casing all around the door jamb. Okay, these are the casing. This in the middle part, this is the door jamb. We have also the hinges. So these hinges, this is the one who connects the door to the door frame, to the door jamb. Okay. So we also have what you call this a threshold or a saddle. You often use this threshold if you want to continue the design or the termination of one finish to another finish of the wall, of the flooring. So sometimes the flooring on this side is different from the other side of the door, so that you need to put a threshold or a terminating molding. Okay, so this is a typical section of a what you call this a panel. So this is the lock rail, this is the bottom rail, this is the lock stele. So this is the panels inside, this is a top rail. So this is the anatomy of a door. Okay? So the common sizes of the door in relation to width, is 0.4 to -0.6 of the height. Right? So the height is the width plus 1.2 meter. So in the Philippines, the common height of the door is 2.1 meters, or 7 feet. But sometimes the owner wants a door that is from floor to ceiling, okay, so that it creates another design element of the room. So in general, the residential doors, in external, it's 1 meter by 2.1 or 1.1 by 2.1. So these external doors are usually wide, so that it can you can move in furnitures or equipments inside your house. So in internal door, it's usually 0.9 to 2.1 or 1 meter. So the internal doors are the bedrooms or the doors going to other spaces inside the room. So the bathrooms and water closets, it's 0.7 to 0.8 or 0.8. Right? So for garages, it's 2.25 by 2.25 meters. For public areas, we have a 1.2 meter door by 2.25. Okay? So I'll just take this. Hello. Yeah. For public spaces, the door height is more than 2.1 meter because sometimes uh, tall objects or tall furnitures go inside public spaces. So what are the different types of doors? No, so these are the different types of doors. We have the hinge door, revolving doors, sliding doors, swing doors, folded door, collapsible doors, rolling shutter, button type, frame and panel, glaze, sash, flush doors, louver doors, wire gauge doors, metal covered door. So this is a door, this is a what you call a door symbol. So this is the symbol of a door being drawn to plan. So these are different types of doors, no, that you can see in the symbol. So these are plan, no? This is a plan. So you can see this is a door on a vestibule or a anteroom. So these are revolving doors. These are double swing doors, no? So these are different types of doors that we will discuss later on. This is sliding door. Okay? So this is a sample of door types. No, we have the panel door. We have the double panel door here. So this indicates the door swing. So the connection the end of the triangle is where the hinge are. Okay. So as you can see here, this is the hinge area. So this is the hinge. So the door will swing on that side. This one. This is the hinge. This one is the hinge area. So this is the door swing. No? It's going on this side. So this is very important because that will indicate what is the swing of the door and where you will put the door hinges. No? So this is the area where you will put the door hinges. Okay, this is the area where you will put the door hinges. So this is a panel door. This is a double panel door. This is a flush door. A bifold door. This is a balcony door. This is a French door. This is a storefront door, and this is a roll-up door. Okay. So hinge door, most of the door are hinged along one side to allow the door to pivot away from the doorway in one direction, but not in the other. The axis of the rotation is usually vertical. The most common door type is simple and rigid hinge. No? The panel swing opens and closes on the hinge. Hinge door require a minimum amount of maintenance and cleaning. They are not expensive and they have an excellent insulating ability. However, they take up precious rooms space to swing. So this is the common type of door that we use in the Philippines, the hinge type door. So this is a hinge using a 4x4 hinge on a what you call a door jamb and attached to a door panel or a door material. Okay? So this is a plan showing the hinge door. So this is a hinge door. Okay, so this is the elevation of a hinge door. This is the hinge. Okay, so this is a glass door, commercial storefront glass door. So another one is the revolving door. No? So the revolving doors. No, this is the revolving door. So the revolving door are used for banks, museums, hotel, offices, and others. So a revolving door usually has 4 wings or leaves that hang on a center shaft and rotate one way about the vertical axis within the round enclosure. The central shaft is fitted with a ball bearing arrangement at the bottom, which allows the shutter to move without any jerk or making noise. The radiating shutter may be fully paneled, fully glazed, or partly glazed. The glass door allows people to see and anticipate while others walking through. Vertical rubber pieces are provided at the rubbing end of the shutter to prevent drop of air. So there is an insulation below the door or above the door. It's a thermal insulation so that the moisture will not go inside the room, no, or the building. So people can walk out of and into the building at the same time. So you can in this type of a revolving door. So a lot of people can go inside, no, simultaneously. So people can this door closes automatically when not in use. So it stays on the uh, uh, area where it is closed, no, when not in use. Okay, so this is a revolving door, a what you call this, a detail call out of a revolving door. So as you can see, there is a on the upper part there is the central supporting shaft. This one. This has the radiating shutters. This is the shutters, and this is the rubber pad. So there is a rubber pad at the bottom of the revolving door. So this is a dissected anatomy of a revolving door. This is the bearing in the bottom part. This is the central post, no? Also central supporting shaft. This is the shutters or the door panels. So this is a plan of a revolving door. So this is the plan of a revolving door. As you can see in the drawing, no, these are the panels, no, the revolving panels. So this is the elevation of a revolving door, no. This is the side elevation. A side elevation is the section of the revolving door. This is the main post, no. Okay, it's in the middle. Okay, so these are the specification of a revolving door. So you can use this detail in your further drawings, no, if you want to use a revolving door in your plans. So this is another type of revolving door, no, used as a partition, no, used as a partition for a room or a wall, no. Sometimes this is called a single and double shutter revolving doors. The door revolves on one side of the shutter and it is closed automatically whenever pushed and left. This is a typical door used for convention center. So this type or bedrooms like this one. So we have also a sliding door. Sliding doors move along a metal wood or a vinyl track fitted into their frames at the top and the movement and the bottom. So to ease their movement, sliding doors often have plastic roller attached to the top and bottom or to the bottom only. The door is hung by two trolleys hangers at the top of the door, running on a concealed track, while at the bottom rollers are provided to slide the shutter in a channel track. So on the drawing, you can see the door has the sliding door has a sliding panel, one sliding panel and one fixed panel. Sometimes the fixed panel is also sliding in some cases. No? So there is a lower track, there's an upper track that holds the door, and there is a threshold. No? So the threshold terminates the finish of one room to the other finish. Then they put a casing. So sometimes the detail is different. So this is a hung by two trolleys. This is a hung by two trolleys. No, the other side this is one. This is the hung door, hung sliding door. So there is you can see there is no threshold below. There's a no lower track because there is a tongue. No, there's a tongue attachment at the bottom of the rail of the panel. So the tongue will make sure that the panel will not move, no, or will not swing while you slide it towards the center. So this will enable us to remove the threshold. So this will have a smooth termination of finishes. The other design is this is the wall hung. This is the track at the upper part of the sliding door. So it provides more clear space for movement because there is no door swing. It is suitable for shops, garage, workshop, and other rooms. Okay, so the shutter is fitted to its frame by special door action hinges. This is what you call a swing door. So the hinges permits the shutter to move both ways, inward as well as outward. So the doors are not rebated at the meeting styles, no. So there's no rebate. So it is not rebated. So to open the door, a slight push is made, and the spring action brings the shutter to a closed position. So the return of the shutter is with the force, and thus the door shall be either fully glazed or provided with a peephole at the eye level to avoid accidents. So this is a typical design of a swing door. So there is a swing hinge, at the end of the door. So this is a double action door. So if you push it forward, it will return to the normal position as you enter the area. Okay. So this is okay. So this is a swing door. No, this is a sliding door. No, this is not a swing door. This is a sliding door. Sorry for the label. So this is a DPS, the sliding door detail of a glass sliding door. As you can see, there is a track above the sliding door. So the sliding door usually has a threshold below. Okay, so this is a detail of a sliding door, detail section. Okay, this is the swing door. So this type of door is very popular in residential building. So this is a swinging door. There are two types: single swing and double swinging door. So this is double swinging door. This is a single swinging door. So this is a detailed drawing of a swing door. This is a glass swing door. This is made of glass. So as you can see, this can be aluminum. This can be wood. Okay. So this is the swing of the door. This is the swing of the door, as you can see in the drawing. So there are different types of. If you put double action as hinges, it can swing on both ends. No? So this is a folded door made of many narrow vertical strip of creases that fold back to a compact bundle when the doors are pushed and open. These strips or creases will be hung from the top and run to the track. They save space as they do not swing out of the door opening through the sound and weather isolation is poor. Folding doors are usually pretty noisy and considered not durable. So this is a folding door. As you can see there, if you put a folding door, there will be gaps between the door, and this gap will be the source of transfer of noise from one room to another. So you need to, if you want to put this use this folding door for purposes that you need acoustical properties that will not transfer the noise from one room to another, you need to put insulation here, acoustical insulation on the door, and you need to put padding on the door so that this will be used for acoustic purposes, to reduce the noise transfer from one room to another. So this type of door is commonly used to save space. If you don't want a sliding door, you can use a folding door. So this is a detail of a folded door. Okay. So there is a track at the top of the folded door. So this track will make the door pivot. So the door will pivot and it will park on one end of the jump. Okay. So this is a collapsible door. So the collapsible door is this type of door is used for garage, workshop, public buildings to provide increased safety and protection to the property. The door do not require hinges to close or open the shutter nor the frame to hang them. It acts like a steel curtain. The door is made up of vertical double channels and is joined together by the hollow on the side or create a vertical gap. These channels are spaced at 100 to 120 millimeter apart and placed with diagonal iron flats. This diagonal allows the shutter to open or close. The shutter between the two rails, one is fixed on the floor and the other is on the lintel. Rollers are mounted on the track, the top and the bottom of the track. Okay, so this is a elevation or a picture of a collapsible door. In the Philippines, this is called the accordion door. Okay, so it's made of metal, flat steel that is you can push the accordion door on one end and push it to the other end. So this is commonly this is usually used during the early 1970s to 1980s in the Philippines. So this is a typical plan of a collapsible door elevation, and this is the plan of a collapsible door. So another one is the rolling shutter. This is commonly used for shops, stores, and others. The door shutters are like curtains and thus provides adequate protection and safety against fire and theft. The shutter is made of steel thin slabs called lats and slates about 125 millimeter thick, interlocked to each other, and coiled upon specially designed pipes, shaft called drums mounted on the top. So the shutters move in two vertical steel guides channels installed at their ends. So there is two channels here. The channel is made of steel sheets and deep enough to accommodate the shutter and keep it in position. The horizontal shaft and spring will drum which allow the shutter to call it out. So this is a roll-up door. In the Philippines, it's called a roll-up door or the rolling shutter. So there is a rail on both ends, and this shutter will coil on the top part of the door. No? So this rolling shutter, as you can see in the section, so these slats form as a curtain, and it will go up and coil on the top part of the door, okay, the door opening. So there is a drum, and there is a chain guide. Usually this chain guide is, if this is motorized, you will not see the chain guide. It's enclosed on the frame, no. So, and there's also a foot slide lock. This is very important. If you want to lock the door from the outside, you need to put a foot slide lock. If this is motorized, no, there is no need for a lock because the electrical motor will lock the shutter. Okay? So you cannot push it upward if this is a electronic type or mechanical motor control. So this is a section, a drawing section of a roll-up shutter. No, this is a chain type manual. So as you can see, there is a manual chain. No, so you can push it up and down. So, but nowadays the chain is inside. No, nowadays it's inside, and you need to push it up. No, if you push it up, it will roll up, and you pull it down, it will roll down. But it's manual. But you cannot see the chain anymore. This is now. They have a system now that the chain is inside the system. What you call this, the roll-up shutter. So this is a batten and ledge door. So these doors consist of vertical boards called battens, which are nailed or screwed to the horizontal members called ledges. Often the battens are bought out about 15 to 18 centimeters wide to 2 to 3 centimeters thick, made of narrow battens like this, have better appearance. This is ledge and batten door to which braces have been added to prevent sagging. These braces must slope upward and hinge the door, and they are housed with a screw and nuts on the ledges. So as you can see in the drawing, in the picture, this is type of a door that is very used early in the 1900s. This is the early type of door. This is batten and ledge door. As you can see, there is no frame. No, there is no frame on the door. It is connected by battens and ledges. So the ledges is the one that makes sure that the battens doesn't move. So the ledges is where you will hinge the doors, the door battens. You can hinge it, you can nail it, you can screw it to the battens and ledges. So this is a elevation of a batten and ledge brace doors. So this is what you call the ledge. These are the ledge, and the vertical part is the buttons. No? So the ledge is the one that holds the buttons. Right? So this is a very simple type of door. This is a very common door used in barns, used in a warehouse. No, that you don't need to. This can be done very quickly. This type of door can be easily assembled. So this is a latch and brace door. This is a more improvised design of a button and ledges. You know, so they put a diagonal brace, no? So that this button and wedges, the ledges will not move. No? Okay, so this is a frame and panel door. So the frame and panel door is the one that's being commonly used in the Philippines. So there is a top rail, a bottom rail. There are two stele and a panel. So sometimes you will put a middle rail, no, to create more design. So this is this door consists of a frame made up of steels and a stop rail, sometimes an intermediate rail, and into the framework plywood panel is fitted. This panel may be fit into grooves or a reveal. So this is a frame panel door with moldings at the outside. So this is a classical type of panel. This is the panel door inside, but they put a molding outside. So these are all only moldings. So this is the panel door inside the. So they put what you call this, a cornice molding on top and some panel moldings on the left side and right side of the frame. No? Frame. This is the frame frame, and this is the panel door. So we have the glass or sash door. So these are provided where visibility of the interior of the room is required. So use of more lights is required beside that coming from the windows. Generally, glazed portion to a panel portion is 1:1 or 2:1. So this is a glaze or sash door. Okay, so as you can see, there are glass openings on the door itself. No, so it's very functional because you can see what's outside, and the light will go inside the door, sometimes it's very what you call this prone to burglars, no? So if you will break the glass, no, so the burglar could go inside the door. No? So you need to make sure that this door is theft proof or tempered or structurally what you call this frame, no, structurally framed glass panels. So these are the flush door. The flush door with the frame core is a type of door that is frequently used in rural buildings. The door consists of a frame which has steelless top and bottom rails and a narrow intermediate rails. It is covered on each side by plywood or plywood cover. Flush doors cannot be used where they will be exposed to rain and sun. So this is a common door for interior part of a room. So the flush door for the interior part of the room. So this is made of plywood. Sometimes it's made of other material that is available in the market. So other boards, no, aside from plywood. But why is it flush? Because in the middle it's not solid. No, they have a hollow opening in the middle of the door. So sometimes they put insulation. They put materials inside the flush door, you know, to meet the purposes. But this is a very cheap door compared to the panel door or the solid panel door. Okay, so this is a section of a flush door. As you can see, there is a frame, no? And there are boards that you will lay to the frame. So this is very easy to construct. This is not recommended to be used exposed to weather. So if you will use a flush door, you will use it inside the house, not on this cannot be used for a main door. Right? So because of the material. But if you will put a material that is what you call this weather resistant, maybe it can last for a few years. Right? So another type of door is a louvered door. allow sufficient amount of ventilation, maintains privacy as well. Louvered arranged such that upper back edge of the louver is above or lower front edge is the higher next higher louver. So this type of louver, sometimes it can be movable or fixed. No? As you can see in the picture on the right side, it's a movable louver type door. So sometimes it's fixed. No? This is a fixed door. So this is commonly used in electrical room so that ventilation can go inside the room. Sometimes this is used in closets so that air can breeze inside the closet. Sometimes it's used in toilets so that the air from inside of the toilet will go outside. This is commonly used if you want ventilation to go inside a room. Okay? So, but this will make it, the sound can go inside to the other side of the room if you will put louvered doors. So these are some application of a louvered door. So in closets, okay. So sometimes you will put it below the panel door, a louver. So this is a wire gauge door. So wire gauge door or fly-proof door shutters are fixed to provide free air circulation and prevent mosquitoes, flies, insects from entering to the building. So this is commonly used in the Philippines. No, this is the aluminum door that is that has a screen, no, screen to prevent mosquitoes going inside the house. No, so you will open the main door and leave the wire gauge door closed. Okay. So this is the aluminum screen door in the Philippines. They call it aluminum screen door. So this is wire gauge door. Technically, it's called wire gauge door. So we also use a metal covered plywood door. No? These are composite doors of plywood and mild steel and are reasonably fireproof. So the metal covered or plywood door, if you have a plywood door, you want to make it fireproof, you put a metal cover on it. But there are now also steel or fire-rated door that made of steel. Okay? So this is another type of door which is automated doors. No? Use sensor to identify people from a distance and the door are automated to open accordingly. So this is an automated door. So factors to consider when designing a door, you should consider strength and stability. You should consider the durability of the material, the cost, or how much is the door, if it's weather resistant. So you need to consider if the door should be weather resistant, select a proper material or select a proper type of door. If you need the door that is fire resistant, you need to make sure that the door has a fire rating. So you need to make sure that this is one of the things that you should consider in designing or putting a door. So you make sure that the door complies with the fire resistant code. So you need also to consider if you need to have a door that is easy for maintenance. Yeah, if you need a door that is soundproof capability. Okay, so you can find doors that has acoustic or sound transfer class, no, STC class. So if you need doors that will prevent outside heat going inside the room or outside temperature going inside the room, so you need also to consider the appearance of the door. Okay, or you need to make sure that it's a environmentally friendly material. You need to make sure that you use a door that is environmentally friendly material. Okay, so what are the technical terms? We have the frame. It is a combination of several wooden members to support the door. We have the style. It is an external vertical member of the shutter. We have the top rail. It is the topmost horizontal member of the shutter. We have the lock rail. It is the center horizontal member of the shutter where the locking attachment are fixed. So this is the lock rail, in which the locking materials are affixed. We have the bottom rail. It is the lowest horizontal member of the shutter. We have the shutter. The complete assembly of the style panels and the rails is known as the shutter. And we have the panel. It is the enclosed area between the rails. So we also have the sash. It is a frame made of a light section and use iron fixing the glass and panels. We have also the mullion. It is the vertical members running through a shutter or a frame. The louver is a timber piece which is attached to an inclined position within the frame. You have also seen the louver before the previous slides. The horn is the horizontal projection of the head or the sill beyond the face of the door or the window frame. Generally, horn is about 15 centimeters long. So this horn is the one that is attached to the top and the bottom or the bottom part of the frame. So if you want to attach it to a ceiling or a concrete hollow blocks wall, you need to extend it about 6 inches upward and 6 inches below. So that is the horn. Holdfasts are provided on vertical sides of the vertical doors to keep the frame in required position. They are made of mild steel flat bars, about 3 centimeters to 6 centimeters thick and 20 to 25 centimeters long. So the holdfasts are the one that is being attached to the wall. Okay, so we also have the sill. It is the bottommost horizontal member forming the frame. The jamb is the vertical face of the door or windows opening which supports the frame. So the transom is the horizontal member which divides the door or the window frame into 7-arrow panel. And the rebate is the separation cut into the frame to accommodate the door. So we have also different types of hinges. Hinges are used to a frame, no? So hinges are used to attach the door, windows, and gates to a frame, no? So what are the different types of hinges? We have what you call these steel hinges, or brass hinges, or cast iron, aluminum, nylon with pins. So hinges are classified into their function, their length of flap, the materials used, and the methods of manufacture. So this is a steel butt hinge, no? As you can see in the, this is a common type of in general use. We also have a double flap butt hinge, similar to the steel butt hinge, is made of 2 steel strips, or to give extra strength, no? So this is the raising butt hinge, used to make door level raise at it open to clear carpets and similar floor coverings. So this is the raising butt hinge. So, and we have the parliament hinge, a form of butt hinge which is projecting knuckle and pin, enabling the door to swing 1,800 to clear architraves and narrow reveals. No? This is the parliament hinge. This is the raising butt hinge. This is the parliament hinge. We have the T-hinge. These hinges are usually made mainly for hanging match-boarded doors where the weight is distributed over a large area. So you have seen this on the previous slide, type of doors. So we also have the locks and latches. No? These are the different types of locks and latches. No? We have the knob locks, right? This is installed in residential. This is the common type of lock set that we have we use in our doors. We have the level handle locks used for inner doors or commercial settings. So this is all easy to open. That knobs are usually have the large push down style handle. So this is a very commonly used locks that is disabled friendly. So you can easily push down the door and it will open. This is the rim and mortise lock, found in commercial doors and glass doors and some apartment doors. Okay, so have glass piece extending on the rear of the lock that runs to the door into a locking mechanism on the opposite side of the door. So this is the mortise and lock. So this is the rim locks. This is commonly seen in the gates, in metal doors. Okay, so doors with lock with modern technology. This is called the this is the access control lock. We use the RFID. This is used a combination code. Sometimes they use biometrics. Sometimes they use a remote control for locking. So this is now commonly used in the Philippines. This is a common use in modern houses, in new houses in the Philippines. The modern technology. Advantages: standard standalone electronic door lock. It has no hard wiring necessary. It's battery operated. So there is a battery on the other side of the door. So there is a, you need to make sure that this battery is always working. No easy programming with audible feedback. Easy installation. This feature provides a quick lockout features in case of a security concern. So if you are building this is usually used in condominiums, in single door houses. No? If you have a house that is only have one door, so you can use a electronic lock, or you can use this on the main door. So we also have a master lock electronic deadbolt. So this is cylindrically thumbed on the side, no? And you can see this one. It is a combination on top. No? Sometimes this is called a deadbolt. No? If there's no combination on top, and this is called there's a key on the other side and there's a knob on the other side. So this is a deadbolt lock. If there's no electronic, so you can usually see this on partnered with a level type lock set. So this is a biometric lock, becomes more and more prominent as it is used. You can use your fingerprint scanning or retinal scanning or iris scanning or voice print identification. So this is called biometrics. So you can use your voice to open the door. You can use your eyes to open the door. Or you can use your fingerprints. So this ends the lecture number 1, which is the lecture 1 about doors.